Well, right now on Daybreak, the Sabres are looking to regroup after a rough Game 2 and a loss to Montreal. While Tage Thompson called his performance a disaster, and the questions now surrounding Buffalo heading into Game 3. Plus, the Bills' newest rookies hit the field for the first time in Orchard Park, what the players are saying after their first taste of NFL life. And we're celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week, the local educator being recognized for making a lasting impact on students and families.
Live from 2 on your side, this is Channel 2 News Daybreak.
And a good Saturday morning. Thanks for joining us here on Daybreak. I'm Rob Hackford. Just past the top of the hour here, about to be 6:01. On this beautiful Saturday, a sunrise overlooking the plains of Buffalo or plains of Western New York.
That is a live image.
We had the live image and Lion King thoughts this morning. Kevin O'Neill with the check of the forecast.
Yeah.
A pretty darn good start to things.
Yeah, it's a great start. And for our viewers by the NYPA line, we're sorry you're not seeing the sun right now. You have rain now, but it is clearing east. And again, a majority of our day today is dry. I do have to time out some rain for you, and we will do that for you. Again, here is the rain. I'm sorry, Salamanca. I'm sorry, Allegheny County. Some showers for you. But I guess the opposite is tomorrow, you're going to be mostly sunny, and I'm leaning partly cloudy for Niagara County tomorrow. Okay, so let's get you through today as well. Future, take you through the next 12, 18 hours or so. Again, these showers clearing. We're all enjoying partly cloudy skies and temperatures finally into the 60s. Just a little bit below average where we should be for early May. And again, dry. I'd wrap up the outdoor plans by about 5 o'clock or so, because here comes some scattered showers. Some thunderstorms anticipated. I think we're all getting some rain. The best chance for thunderstorms rather, is once again by the NYPA line. Those exit, clearing us out for a dry, lovely Mother's Day. So we're going to make it into the low 60s today with a nice dry window up until about 5, 6 o'clock, Rob, and then some showers across western New York.
Kind of flip side of the first game, fall behind too early and try to chase the game, try to force plays that aren't there, and just wasn't executing. I think everything I touched turned into disaster tonight. So tough one. We got to be better.
Yeah, the Sabres will be trying to move past a rough Game 2 and their loss to Montreal last night, especially after Tage Thompson called that performance, as you heard there, a disaster. Now, with the series tied at 1 game apiece, Sports Director John Scott is taking a look at what went wrong for Buffalo and what needs to change before Game 3 on Sunday.
Start to finish, the Sabres' performance in Game 2 against the Canadiens was flat out horrible. It started early, allowing a goal just over a minute and a half into the game. It was turning the puck over. It was terrible once again on the power play, and it was the Sabres' best being their very worst. This all adding up to a 5-1 defeat.
They want to compete first 10, and then that's what kind of set the tone for the whole game, and it's hard to come back, especially in playoffs when the opponent is up 2, so can't happen.
Kind of flip side of the first game, fall behind too early and try to chase the game, try to force plays that aren't there, and just wasn't executing. I think everything I touched turned into disaster tonight. So tough one. We got to be better. It's as simple as just flush that one and move on.
Can't afford to spend any time on that game. We need, we'll probably, in all likelihood, we'll probably practice tomorrow. Get the legs going. Feel good about puck touches, because we didn't touch our touches. We just weren't. How many pucks did we pass, hit a stick, and bounce off? We didn't get them out. Some of it was pretty poor execution on our part.
The series now shifting to Montreal, tied at 1 game apiece, with Game 3 Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. From KeyBank Center, John Scott, Channel 2 Sports.
Well, thank you, John. Turning to some developing news on Buffalo's east side, where we're working to learn more about a possible shooting on Kilhofer Street last night. Right now, details are limited. It's unclear if anyone was hurt or what led up to this incident. We have reached out to Buffalo police, and we'll bring you more information as soon as we get it. And in Cheektowaga, we're also working to get more information about a garage fire that happened last night. Crews from various volunteer departments battled these flames that were twice as high as the garage along Princeton Court. Well, right now, it's not clear what caused the fire or if anyone was hurt. The garage, which is detached, ended up spreading to both the owner's home and to neighbors. We've reached out to Cheektowaga Police for more information, and we'll bring you those updates when we have them. Now to the latest in the civil case filed by the widow of fallen Buffalo firefighter Jason Arno. According to court records, jury selection is now underway in this wrongful death case. Arno died in the line of duty during a massive fire at 745 Main Street in Buffalo in March of 2023. He died from smoke inhalation and heat-related injuries while trapped inside the burning building. Investigators found that contractors working on the former DC Theatrics facility accidentally started the fire while using a propane torch and a leaf blower. Arno's widow, Sarah Tierney, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the company. The trial is expected to begin on Monday. And this morning, we're continuing coverage after the release of some 1,500 beagles from the Ridge Lane Farms breeding facility in Wisconsin, with some of those animals now in western New York. Now, federal lawmakers, including Congressman Nick Langworthy, are now seeking to put an end to testing on animals raised solely for experimentation. Langworthy says he's encouraging and urging the Department of Health and Human Services to end the practice and ensure taxpayer dollars are no longer used to support such breeding.
We need to push until we get finally a law that says you should not be doing medical testing or dangerous testing on cats and dogs in this country. It's a matter of total cruelty. It doesn't need to happen. And to see, those beagles in those inhumane conditions, 2,000 of them in one facility was gross. And people had to take matters into their own hands. And these weren't radical animal activists. These are people that just saw a wrong and they took a step to right it. Now we need to follow through with public policy.
Now, Ridgeland Farms has been accused of performing surgical procedures without anesthesia, invasive testing and vocal cord cutting to stop the beagles from barking. The company has denied it abuses animals. And coming up on Daybreak, rookie minicamp is officially underway for the Buffalo Bills. We have a closer look at how the newest players are adjusting to life at One Bills Drive. Plus, sports fans and hat collectors are heading downtown today for 5950 Day. We'll have a look at the exclusive Buffalo designs and special releases that are drawing attention at the New Era flagship store. Now, with all the playoff excitement surrounding the Buffalo Sabres, we wouldn't blame you if you didn't realize the Buffalo Bills season is getting underway. The team kicked off rookie minicamp in Orchard Park yesterday, giving this year's rookie class and a few new additions their first chance to put on the blue and red. Now, draft picks, undrafted free agents, and tryout players all hit the field for their first NFL practice with the Bills. The players spent the day learning new plays, new terminology, and getting their first taste of life inside the organization. The team's first pick in this year's draft, TJ Parker, told us just putting on the helmet for the first time was a special moment.
Shoot, when I put that helmet on in the locker room, I was in there getting in my stance before we even walked out here. I started stretching, and as I'm walking out here to the practice field, I'm like, man, my mentality is I'm trying to treat it like a game. You know what I'm saying? When you get game reps at practice, the game becomes easy. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's amazing just to put on the helmet and just to represent something bigger than me. So I'm just super glad I get to do that.
Another player said the biggest challenge is not overthinking and just playing fast. Day one of rookie camp now in the books, with OTAs scheduled to start later this month. We're also less than a week away from knowing when the Buffalo Bills will play each game this season. The team announced that it'll release the schedule for this upcoming season on May 14th. That's next Thursday. Of course, we'll bring you those details as soon as we have them, as well as in-depth analysis from our sports team. Well, as the Sabres playoff run continues to fire up fans across western New York and around the country, there's also plenty of excitement downtown at the New Era flagship store on Delaware Avenue. Today, hat collectors and sports fans will be celebrating 5950 Day with limited edition releases exclusive to Buffalo. Our Kevin O'Neill has a look.
It's a hot item, certainly all Sabres gear. And a matter of fact, here with Tim Shanahan. Tim, you're senior. What's your title again with New Era?
No worries. Senior Director of License Management.
How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Sabres are a hot item.
Huge hot item right now, especially in our store and our site right now. A lot of custom product. And right now, Sabres are our second best-selling team overall on our New Era site.
Quite a spike.
It
Fantastic.
is.
Speaking of spike, let's talk about another famous spike, and it was an iconic moment in pop culture history, which is added to the New Era brand.
Absolutely. About 30 years ago, we're celebrating Spike Lee cap. So 30 years ago, Spike Lee called our owner, Chris Cook, asking for a red Yankees cap, which has never been, thought of before. Wore it during the World Series.
Yeah.
It blew up, and then from then really started the lifestyle brand.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember, and it looks so different. And now, here, hold this.
Yep.
And now I could get Bill's gear in purple or yellow. And so that was a big moment, and New Era went with it, and now the brand is iconic.
Absolutely. It really set off a whole trend of lifestyle and fashion in the sports world.
5950 refers to what?
A style of cap that is a fitted cap that was created by New Era in 1954. It was the first true baseball cap that they designed it for a high brim so that you could actually see the MLB logos. Before that, the caps were very slouched, and you couldn't even tell what team it was. So it really changed the game.
Is this the big seller?
It's a huge seller right now. That's the Spike Lee 30th anniversary cap.
And 5'9".
Yep.
You're celebrating 5950.
You got it right here in the store from 10 to 6. We're going to have activation with food truck, DJ, and custom product for everybody.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it must be a big day for you.
It is. It's really honor, and it's a great way to celebrate kind of the iconic cap that really set off New Era.
Yeah, and of course, the international headquarters are in Buffalo, and a source of local pride. The event is at the flagship store. Make sure you get it right, 10 to 6. Again, DJ, some customization if you want, some very one-of-one merch drops will be here as well, exclusive that aren't online. 10 to 6 downtown Buffalo on Delaware, on your side in Buffalo. I'm Kevin O'Neill, Channel 2 News.
Now we're back now on Daybreak, and we're celebrating some of the most important people in our community. It's Teacher Appreciation Week. We're putting the spotlight on our local educators. Earlier this week, we asked you to send us reasons why your teacher goes above and beyond. We were flooded with responses, but one nomination stood out among the rest. 2 on your side's Natalie Foss says more on one teacher making a big impact both in and out of the classroom.
I've always said that being a teacher is just who I am.
Janet Decker is much more than a teacher.
I'm a middle school special education teacher. I do resource room and consultant teaching for one class. Fall sideline cheerleading coach for varsity cheerleading. I coach unified bowling, and I coach modified track.
She's pretty popular around the Silver Creek School District.
She's my favorite teacher, most definitely. She kind of reminds me of a mom because she's like very protective.
She sees a lot of her younger self in her students. That's why she chose the profession.
Working with kids who struggle, who were like me, and being able to see that light bulb moment and see where they were able to finally oh, I get it, or finding ways to present it in a different way that made sense for them was something that I just really enjoyed.
One of those students is Claire Gonzalez, who says Mrs. Decker has been a constant source of support.
She's always just so supportive and understanding, a very good listener. She just loves to include everybody.
Inclusion is something Mrs. Decker is fiercely passionate about. That's clear from the moment you meet her.
I want everybody to feel like they belong, and the only way to do that is to teach it, to model it.
Through Unified Sports, she's seen firsthand how simple acts of kindness can change a student's life.
You see them in the hallways, they're getting the high fives, the kids are talking to them in the morning, whereas before they would have just, waited in their little group or waited with an aide and then gone to the classroom. That was the norm.
She also works with Special Olympics of New York and worked in Chautauqua County to help declare March as Choose to Include Month, continuing her mission far beyond the classroom.
I want these kids to know that there is a future out there, that they're not going to be the ones that are just the ones in the corner that nobody talks to and nobody interacts with because they're different.
That passion is why Mrs. Decker received multiple nominations, including one from District Director of Health and Wellness, Jennifer Johnson.
She's constantly looking for ways to make the school a better place, to make the school more inclusive.
Johnson says Mrs. Decker always goes above and beyond to make every student feel like they belong.
It really makes my heart full, and it is a great feeling to see the kids really happy and to see everybody included and have their special moments at school as well.
Special moments that will last far beyond the classroom.
She has helped me through a lot. She has made me become the person I am today during school, and I love her.
On your side, Natalie Foss, Channel 2 News.
Well, 6:35 on Daybreak, and next Thursday will mark 4 years since one of the darkest days in Buffalo's history. On May 14th, 2022, 10 lives were taken and 3 others were hurt in a racist mass shooting at Tops on Jefferson Avenue. The ripples of the attack affecting even more people. And yesterday, community members, survivors, and local leaders came together at the Buffalo History Museum for a conversation focused on healing and remembrance. The event was designed to honor the victims, address structural racism, and support Buffalo's East Side.
It's naive to think that in just 4 years we're going to undo all of that. It's a work that is ongoing. There's no end to it. So we continue to build capacity. We continue to build those relationships, work on current relationships, and establish new ones where we can.
Now, this conversation also brought together local organizations with similar missions, looking to figure out how they can work together to support victims and neighbors on the East Side. And a local doctor is weighing in on the deadly hantavirus that took over a cruise ship recently. At least 3 people have died and several others are sick after the outbreak on the ship that's now heading for the Canary Islands. The virus usually spreads when people inhale the contaminated residue of rodent droppings. Junior Side's Kelly Dudzik spoke with that doctor and is sharing what you need to know this morning about the virus.
Hantavirus can cause severe respiratory disease, and early symptoms can look like the flu.
If you have a wind or other things, it can aerosolize the virus, and then you breathe it in and you get sick.
Doctors think the first person to die in this outbreak got sick at a bird watching excursion at a landfill in Argentina. He ended up spreading it to his wife, who also died. Dr. John Crane is a professor of medicine with the Division of Infectious Diseases at the UB Jacobs School and says this version of the virus is only infectious person to person after symptoms start.
Fever, body aches, cough, shortness of breath, things like that. Whereas COVID-19 begins to be infectious for a couple of days before any symptoms appear. And that's why it got the jump on us so quickly when it appeared back in 2020.
According to the World Health Organization, the fatality rate from this strain can be up to 50%. And there is no hantavirus vaccine or antiviral drug.
The treatment is supportive care, which mostly is oxygen and possibly being placed on a ventilator because it causes a severe lung involvement. It can also cause the cardiovascular system to collapse, so then you need support for your blood pressure.
Dr. Crane says you should keep an eye on what's happening with this outbreak.
Don't panic. I think the chances that this virus causes a much bigger outbreak are pretty slim because of the different characteristics of the virus. One advantage, we also know more about this virus because it's been identified previously, as opposed to COVID, where everything was brand new.
Now, the Pentagon has released never-before-seen files on UFOs and unidentified anomalous phenomena, also known as UAPs. Channel 2's Dave McKinley has been combing through the files with some Western New Yorkers who are quite interested in knowing more.
New York's junior Senator Kirsten Gillibrand has long pushed for the release of the information, saying that over the years there's been too many sightings and too many questions that need answers.
What are these UAPs? Are they drones? Are they adversaries? Or is it other? But we need to know.
And in a statement today, she said, transparency is the only path to truth. I'm encouraged the administration heard my call and the call of millions of Americans to unseal these files. This is an important step, but there is much more work to do.
I've got a whole group of people in New York State that I'm sure are poring over this right now.
John Lombardo of Buffalo is the New York State director of the Mutual UFO Network. He says much of what they've seen so far they already knew, and believes if there's anything really juicy about confirmed alien contacts or the recovery of spaceships, you're probably not going to find it in these files now released by the government.
I would be highly suspicious if they would give that up.
There are thousands of pages of investigations since just after World War II and assessments like that of a Midwest doctor who, in the midst of a polio outbreak in the 50s, tried to warn officials they occurred near recent sightings and could be evidence of radiation poisoning from spaceships. His colleagues dismissed it as laughable. But we were really curious about buffalo.
Back now in Most Buffalo, and did anybody out there see that unusual sight last night in the sky? It was like a string of lights.
We could not have been immune to reports over all these years, but it is like finding a needle in a haystack. The website where all this is contained is not searchable by city name, and ChatGTP was of no assistance. But with a couple of hours, which is all the time we had, some strong coffee, and frankly some dumb luck, we did find some. One where the FBI in Buffalo was called by Elmira police to investigate a recovered flying saucer, which turned out to be a box painted aluminum with a radio tube attached to the center. And this correspondence from a man who about 75 years ago lived in a home on Prospect Street, which is no longer there, advising the FBI he could help them understand the propulsion system and design of UFOs, warning the Russians want to get this, rest assured, and saying he contacted agents here because I do not know who is a commie in Washington and who is not.
That was Dave McKinley reporting interesting stuff there. And the Theodore Roosevelt inaugural site, another place to see some interesting history. In Buffalo is marking a major milestone ahead of this summer's America 250 celebrations. Leaders say they've completed a multi-year $100,000 exhibit infrastructure upgrade. With the support of Erie County, the project replaced some outdated technology and audio-visual equipment throughout the museum's galleries. Through the month of May, there'll be discounted admission costs for residents of Erie County as well.
There you go.